Hey, I have exactly 8 minutes before I have to go inside this building here, so I thought I'd spend a couple minutes talking to you guys about synchronicities. So, I wanted to talk about something that happened last week because it was really weird and really cool. I get a lot of synchronicities all the time, mostly like angel numbers, and I listen to a lot of YouTube at work, so it's like videos that will say things that I just said, like verbatim, or like weird things like that. But this one was different because I listened to this video at YouTube, on YouTube at work, excuse me, and I don't know why I can't talk about it. Anyway, there was this video I listened to, and basically the video was one of those AI videos, like Commander, whatever, like the AI videos where they're like star seeds or something. And I like listening to them because a lot of them are really positive, but they also have problematic things about them sometimes. Anyway, so I take what resonates and leave the rest, just like they say in the tarot videos. So I have fully, like I said, gone fully into like the woo-woo-ist things. So, so this one video was basically, it was like this future of humanity. It was this really amazing vision of humanity. It was so cool, and like everything that I could want and more. Like, I was like, oh my god, like that would be so cool if that was legit. Like, you could talk to trees, and the Akashic records would be as real as any book you could find in a library, and just like technology would be person forward. You know, it wouldn't be like a negative. It would be fantastic. Anyway, it was like all these positive things, so many. And the video was like half an hour long, so it was like half an hour of like all these amazing things. But obviously, one of the things that they talk about is that is the ascension, because they always talk about the ascension. And in my little brain, like, you know, I grew up Christian, so the idea of ascension is still very much like Jesus Christ floating up in a cloud, or why can I never remember that word? I did not grow up Protestant, so the whole thing where everybody disappears and just they go up into heaven like instantly, that doesn't register with me, right? Like, I cannot remember the name, and there's like it's so frustrating. The rapture, yeah, sorry. So you have like the that's what I think of, is I think of people like disappearing or floating or just going up to heaven or whatever, right? And it's always up to heaven, like it's always a place that you go that is not on earth. And so I ended up hearing the bit about the ascension, and it was talking about like, oh, you will ascend in 72 hours, 48 hours, something, whatever. It was 72 hours, I think. No, 48. No, 72. Sorry, thinking the story happened like last week. So 72 hours. You are going to ascend in 72 hours. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so look for, at this point, when something is going to happen and it's like, oh, this big thing's gonna happen, it's usually a synchronicity. Like, some kind of cool synchronicity happens and I notice it because I'm trying to pay attention. And, you know, so that is what happens. So I think, okay, maybe something really cool, really fun, that maybe the world is going to get better in 72 hours, right? I didn't necessarily think that I was going to like ascend in, but it was really kind of a cool idea though. Like, oh cool, that'd be cool, because that's going to be Saturday and I'm going to be hiking, so I'll be out and like being able to watch the woods from above. That'd be fun. Just kind of like, you know, had fun with it, and just kind of like it made my day like a little brighter, because the video was really a happy video. And this thing happened on that Saturday where I'm missing pieces to the story, so I'm gonna have to go look. Hang on a second. Okay, apparently I parked in like the worst place possible. You've got the shadow doing the weird little thing on my face. Anyway, I moved, I got my food and left. So it was 48 hours. I looked it up. So it was 48 hours. And then something, you were supposed to ascend. It was supposed to be like this big thing. I was like, okay, so some kind of synchronicity is coming. Cool, gotcha. Because it's never like, they always tell you it's going to be some crazy thing, and then it ends up being something really cool, but like not like you burst into a ball of flames and you just shoot up into the sky, you know, like, no. That it's always something cool and natural and like really like, how in the hell, it's like a subtle magic, I guess is what you could say. So anyway, so I listened to that one and just kind of put, oh yeah, so 48 hours from the time that the video was released was 7 p.m. on last Saturday, whatever the date was, I don't remember. From today, it's like 2 weeks ago, whatever. So there were some other things too that happened. Like, I listened to 3 videos, like 3 separate videos, just random videos, different topics, different kind of things as I'm going through the night. 3 separate videos. The narrators, like the people who are talking in the videos, are like, oh, look, it's animal control. Oh, I wonder why animal control is here. I hope the animals are okay. Like that kind of thing. 3 different videos. And so I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I should take the dogs out, because usually I take the dogs out hiking on Saturday. I did not do it today, but I'll take the dogs out hiking and we have a good time and it's fine. But I'm sitting here thinking, well, my one dog is really rambunctious, so I usually go to this trail that other people don't like going to because there's a lot of traffic, and there's usually a lot of mosquitoes in the summer, and it's not fantastic. But it does have my favorite tree in the whole fucking world is on that trail. So cool. People avoid that place and I enjoy it, and I don't have to worry about running into a bunch of people. Awesome. But there's always the sound of traffic in like a lot of my videos because it's right along the highway. Anyway, so I'm sitting here worried about the animal control. And it's enough that before I took the dogs out, I was mentioning to my sister, I was like, I am concerned. I don't know if I should take them out or not, because if I take them out, it might end up something. I'm afraid something's going to happen because I saw this animal control thing 3 times, and that is like a bad omen. And she was like, oh, it's so nice out, and she couldn't do it. She's been sick. So I was like, okay, fine. So, oh, there were some other things too. Let me look it up. Hang on. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention was that the sycamore tree, I always go meditate underneath it. And part of that meditation that is always like, because when I started going to that tree, it was, it's this old sycamore tree. It's the biggest tree in that area, but it's not like gigantic, huge. It's the biggest tree there. And it's gnarly, it's like twisted and kind of thing, and I just started talking to it and telling it I want it to grow big like the ancient sycamore trees, where it would be 14 man and their arms would be stretched out and they wouldn't be able to wrap their arms all the way around the tree, and like I want the ancient forest to come back, and I want those forests back, the ones that we cut down. That would be magical and amazing, and let's bring that back. I mean, it'll take 1,000 years, but let's fucking do it. Starts today, right? So I told the sycamore tree, so I go and I meditate under it, and I have Gaia, because it was like sick, it didn't look like it was doing very well, but it was also winter, so I could be wrong. But then I took the picture with that app, the plant app or whatever, and it said, oh yeah, this plant is sick, it's dying. And so I was like, okay. So I started sitting under the tree and meditating, and I would have Gaia send the gold light down on the tree. And I started feeling like my energy would be drained when I would go see the tree. And I was like, Gaia, I cannot have this. I can't walk. I would get super dizzy. I would be like, I'm falling over. And I think I put that in another video anyway, what happened when I was trying to meditate under the tree. And so I asked Gaia, I was like, Gaia, can you please send the sycamore the energy, because I can't do it. Can you please just send the tree the energy directly from you? So I would do that. And there's people coming. Hang on, I'm in an empty parking lot. That's weird. Anyway, okay. So I got distracted. Sorry. So anyway, when I went to go see the sycamore, it had been a couple weeks since I had been able to go hiking out there, and it was so green and it looked so good, and I was so proud. I was like, oh my god, you're growing, look at you look so great. And I took another picture on that app. It's like the plant, I don't remember, it's a really popular app for people who like to figure out what plant is in gardens and stuff. Anyway, it's an identification app. And I took another picture, and it said, oh, this plant is healthy, this tree is healthy. And I was like, yay. Again, it could have been telling me it was sick because it was winter, and I could have been mistaking, but it looked like maybe it had been hit by lightning or something. Doesn't matter now, because it looks so much healthier, it looks so much better. And so it could be just coincidence. I just think it's awesome. So I go and I've had some times where, this is just an aside, where when I'm having a really bad day, and I don't feel like, and I'm having a sad, like I don't feel good, I'll go out there to the sycamore tree, and I go and like talk to it and just kind of put my hands on it and whatever. And there have been some times where I feel like I'm getting energy. This tree is like literally dying, and it is like sending me energy, because now I can feel more subtle energies. So I can tell that it is giving me energy, and I leave and I'm feeling happier. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much better now that I saw the sycamore tree. And the sycamore tree, I tell it it's my favorite. You're my favorite tree. Like, you are my favorite tree. That and the pear tree, my sister's pear tree. Oh my God, I love that tree. It's the happiest fucking tree in the fucking world. People look at me like I'm insane when I say that, but I'm like, dude, if you could only like put your hand on that tree and feel the energy, like that's instantly what happens every time I go. I'm like, Pear, hi Pear, how are you? And I go and I say hi, and I'm like I'm sorry about the dogs or whatever, because the chain's wrapped around it. And then she, like, the pear tree just like is so fucking happy. It's I can't believe I'm saying that I talk to trees. I just feel the energy. Okay. So I go to go hiking. I totally went off track. I gotta look and see where I'm at again. Oh my God, I forgot about the animals. Okay, the whole point of the story. So this kind of ties into everything later, but I've had some things happen lately where the animals don't want to leave me. Like, I had one where I was sitting outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, and this robin flew up to me, like right up to me, like a couple feet away from me, and just sat there at 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all. And it just sat there. It stayed there until I was like, okay, you should probably go now, because I'm a human and you're supposed to be afraid of me. And then there was this other time I was hiking out in the woods, and this rabbit, you know, rabbits are so skittish, especially like, you know, woodland rabbits, like the brown ones. Oh my God, this rabbit just sat there. I got a couple feet away from it. It just sat there. And then finally, when I got like maybe 4 feet away from it, then it finally hopped into the woods, and it was just kind of sitting there, like it was literally itching its ear, just kind of looking at me and just like scratching itself. And I'm just like, it does not care. And it was like, what the hell? How is this rabbit not scared of me? Why is it just sitting there? And that kind of ties into the story. So remember I told you I watched that AI video, it was really cute. It said at 7 p.m. on Saturday, something cool is going to happen or whatever. I'm like, all right, so I'm just kind of like, I kind of put it out of my mind, because that was Thursday night, right? So Saturday, I'm out hiking with the dogs. I did decide to take the dogs out, even though there was I was worried about the animal control. I was like, oh, but I haven't seen the sycamore in weeks, and it's driving me crazy. Like, I feel like I am missing, you know, because it's my favorite tree. So I'm like, I've got to go see the sycamore. So I took the dogs with me because I feel bad. They give you those puppy dog eyes and they need to be out. They need to get exercise. So I took them with me anyway. And usually I go at the end of the day because by the time it's the end of the day, you know, there's not as many people go out if they're going to go out, and that trail's not popular anyway. And then I get to see the dusk, like the sunset, which is what I like anyway. And really, the area that it's at is between two highways, so I've never experienced any coyotes or anything out there. So I feel relatively safe out there, even though it's really close to the highways. There's these big fences. I don't have to worry about the dogs getting too close to the highway. So it's a fairly safe place to go for them once I know that the park is empty. I kind of let them run around a little, but only because I know there's no one in the park. You know, they enjoy it. They need to get the exercise, and I have arthritis, so yeah. Don't tell on me. Anyway, so I'm out there on the park, and and I go under the highway, and there is literally, I'm looking at the water, I'm paying attention around me, and the dogs didn't see this either, and I don't know how they didn't see this, but I'm very glad that they didn't. But I literally almost, like, my foot's going this way, and I realize there's something on the ground that's not supposed to be there, and it's a fawn, y'all. There is a fawn. Oh, yeah. When I went under the bridge, it was 6:48 p.m. 6:48 p.m. So this fawn is under my foot on the, oh my God, I put my leg back, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a deer under my foot. Like, what the hell is going on? And it's on the trail. It's not off to the side. It's not like whatever. It is on the trail, just sitting there chilling. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Where is your mother? What the hell? Because I know, like, you know, the babies will be in like the little den or like a little nest that they make or whatever. Well, mama goes off and finds food or something, but Jesus, on the trail? Like, what the hell, mom? And I'm thinking the fawn probably like walked off because it was old enough to walk. But I'm freaking out because it wandered onto the trail, and I had two dogs with me, and by that point it was almost 7 p.m. So I knew relatively by 7 p.m. there's not going to be other people who just pop in and like, I'm gonna go take a walk, because by that point we're like way back on, like, under the highway on the other side, and usually, you know, it's not common. So I had felt relatively comfortable just kind of letting the dogs off, and so the dogs go running off down the path, and they didn't notice. Oh my God, thank God, right? Well, then I'm looking around for the mom, trying to see, oh God, I don't want to leave this fawn because it's just out in the open. And I had seen two, literally talking about the birds. A couple of weeks ago, walking on that same path, there were two bald eagles that came and landed on trees nearby, and they were just watching me walk by, and they started making sounds at me. And I think that's probably defensive. Like, there's probably a nest in one of those trees, and it was telling you to get the fuck out of our territory. But it was still really cool, y'all. It was really cool. So I'm sitting here like, I have seen eagles, and I know there are falcons and other birds of prey, probably vultures, who knows, out there, and this little fucking fawn is just sitting on the path, and I'm like, I don't want to walk away. I don't want to walk. Where's mom? Because I know that they come across that river right where I'm at. So they come across the river right at about the time when I'm leaving, and it's 7 o'clock, and I'm here a little bit later than usual, so I know that they're going to show up pretty soon, so I'm afraid to go away. So I sat there for like maybe 10 minutes. I should have walked away. This synchronicity is for me, y'all. I guess it wasn't 10 minutes, but whatever. Anyway, because I tell you the time later on, but whatever. I sat there for a little bit, and I should have walked away. But the fawn got up. Like, I started to walk away because I realized what was going on, and was like, oh, I can't. I gotta walk away because I'm in danger. So the fawn gets up, and it starts following me. It starts walking behind me, and I'm like, oh my God, baby, go back, go sit down, please. Go back to wherever you came from. And so at that point, I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm right by the highway. What if mom got run over by a car or something? But I'm like, why the fuck would the mom go on the highway when there's a path that goes under the bridge? Why would you jump onto the busy road when there's a path under the bridge right there? All of the animals go under that bridge, all of them. You can see some of the coolest footprints, because you can see people footprints and dog footprints and whatever else, kind of deer footprints and all kinds of bird footprints, all under that bridge. Everybody goes under that bridge. That's how you get across the bridge. So it was just crazy to me. And so then at that point, I really want to leave because the fawn is following me, because I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, what if it doesn't have a family or anything? So I sit there for a minute more, and literally the thing comes right up to me, and I'm like, oh my God, baby. So, but then of course I hear the dogs coming back. I'm like, I should have run off. See, this whole synchronicity, it is not something where I did something to save. I mean, I did save the fawn, but it would not have happened if it weren't for me. So it's a synchronicity, but it's also my fault. Gotcha. So yeah. So anyway, I didn't think, please don't do this, because I didn't want my human scent on the fawn. And also, because my dogs came running up really fast. And when they came running up really fast, they ended up they smelled the smell, because they smelled the deer, and they chase the deer sometimes, but they're so fucking slow. You know, the deer's so fast. I don't normally worry about it, right? I'm not usually concerned, because literally the deer shoot off so fucking fast, and the dogs are just kind of like, you know, like this, like creeping along, whatever. So anyway, where was I? So they smell the smell of the deer, and they're like trying to get at the deer, and I'm just like, grab it, and I pick it up. Oh, I felt so bad. I feel so bad that I did that. Oh my God, the poor deer just wanted to be put down. Of course it wanted to be put down. This predator picked it up. I feel so bad, right? So I picked it up. I was trying to get the dog situated, and like I didn't get any video or anything of this because the whole time it happened so fast. The whole thing seemed like it happened so fast, but it also seemed like it took forever, but it happened super fast. I didn't have time to sit there and be like, let me take out my phone and take a video. No, I didn't. And that's what happens, is that when stuff like that happens, you don't think to take out a video. Like the big stuff, I'm not usually thinking about taking out my camera. So a lot of some really cool stuff, I have no proof that it happened because I don't have any footage of it or pictures or anything. Like the eagles, I don't have any picture of the eagles, or the bird or the rabbit. I don't have any picture or footage of them. So anyway, I'm sitting here, I'm still trying to find the mom. I get the dogs wrangled away and get the deer back, the fawn back on the ground, and the dogs down the path. And at that point, I call animal control. So I call animal control and I tell them, hey, the fawn is out here. It's really weird that it's out on the path, blah, blah, blah. Can you call me back or whatever? You know, and at least there's a record of the fawn being out there in case, whatever. So he calls me back a little bit later and says, oh, it's got to be 24 hours before anyone will even go, and rehabbers will go and pick up the fawn or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, it's probably in a safe place for that, because I've never seen any, like I said, I've never seen any coyotes there, because I walk Saturday night, so I'm always out there at dusk. So by the way, that other video that I posted with all the birds, that is the place where I go looking for morel mushrooms. So I have been out there at dusk. There are never like a whole bunch of birds out in that spot at night, like that night. So that is a unique situation. That was not normal for that situation. I'm out there when it's getting dark almost every Saturday. That was new to me. On April 5th, that happened on April 5th. Yeah. So I'm out there, I get the dogs away, and then I call after I walk away and after I call animal control, I look at my phone and it is 7:03. And I'm like, what the fuck? That thing said something would happen at 7 p.m. on Saturday. And I was literally rescuing a fawn from my dogs at 7 on Saturday. That was a synchronicity. Like, that's the thing. That's a spirit telling you, hey, this is still like going on. Like, you're still communicating with us. You're still picking up on shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I call my sister and tell her, you heard me, right? Like, I told her, I was like, you heard me say that I was afraid to take the dogs out because I would have to call animal control, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, I just had to call animal control. She was like, no way. I was like, yes, I had to call animal control. It's really weird. It ended up, I went out the next day. Actually, by the end of that day, before I left, I had the dogs obviously on leashes by that point. I walked back and the fawn was already gone. Because another thing is, when I sent energy to the sycamore, right? Because I have this belief, and I have no rhyme or reason to tell you why I believe it, because I don't know why I believe it. I just believe it. I know that the trees communicate through mycelium, but I also believe that if you are an animal, like, you're more in tune with the forest and nature around you, and that the trees probably communicate with the forest around them. And when I found the sycamore, I was like telling the sycamore the story. I was like, please tell the mom to come get the fawn. Please tell the mom that the fawn is on the trail. And I'm really worried about this fawn being out there and that it's going to get hurt. Please come. And so when we were hiking back, I had the dogs on the leashes, and Des was trying desperately to find the fawn. That's my dog's name, sorry. Not my sister's dog's name, anyway. But he couldn't find it. Like, there was no fawn there. And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. The mom came and got the fawn. Thank you. And I went out hiking the next day to look for the fawn, just to make sure, because if it really was gone, because there was rushing water right next to it on the other side. So it was like the dogs on one side and the river on the other, and it's on the path, and it's just cut grass. And I'm like, please no. So it was gone though by the time I got back, and I'm just hoping it did not fall into the water. It didn't. No, not going there. The mom probably came and got it. Just gonna go with that. Anyway, I feel like I'm missing another part of the story, so I'll be right back. So I checked, I think that was the end of the story. I saw some really cool cranes. They were brown instead of white. I don't know if I've noticed brown cranes before. I'm sure it's probably really common. I just never noticed them before. There were like 5 of them out there, and they were flying around as we were, I don't know what is with the birds lately. I've never been a bird person, but they've been following me around. So the cranes were literally, like, they were on a little island next to where I was at, and then there's this little beaver dam, and they were over by the beaver dam, and then there's like a little pond over by the sycamore tree, so they came over by the pond by the sycamore tree. Obviously I had dogs, so they didn't fly like up to me or whatever, but they flew over a couple times, and I got a couple cool little videos of them. It was really cool, really neat. But yeah, that was what the synchronicities were. Like, that's how synchronicities work. It's not necessarily like you're learning something magical and amazing. It's more like, hey, spirit exists. Pay attention. We're here. We're going to tell you that something amazing is going to happen, and something amazing is going to happen. You're going to get the opportunity to touch a fawn, which I did, and I feel really bad about it. But yes, that was really cool. And that is just how that works. I don't really know the moral of that story, other than, you know, maybe it's telling me that I am in alignment. That's the point, right? I want to be in alignment. I don't know. I mean, I maybe it's telling me that I am in tune with nature, because I try really, really hard to be in tune with nature. I've got to be out in nature all the time, but the problem is that also it's tick season, and I am trying not to wear deets, but I need to wear deets because, oh my freaking God. No, they're awful. No. So yeah, anyway, that is my story. Okay, bye.